And greetings, subscribers, friends, and family around the world, associates and enemies. Um, some of you may be disturbed that in the past couple of years, you may have sent me an email or tried to communicate with me, and I was unavailable. I didn't respond. It was as though I was giving you the middle finger. I'd like to explain that circumstances conspired against me to keep me away from the internet. So if you're offended, I apologize. No offense was intended. I know that if I was wanting to hear from somebody and I sent them an email, they didn't answer it, and I sent them another email and they didn't answer it, I would feel like, well, they're wanting me to buzz off. That wasn't necessarily the case. And another thing I'd like to clarify on a totally different subject is that NASA has just released information that it doesn't quite know what to do with, hasn't digested yet, hasn't drawn any conclusions with it, but I have, because it's the crux of my theory that our climate has always been determined by the sun's output, which varies. And here's the point: the sun's output, which varies. Why? Why does the sun vary in its output without considering sunspot activities? There's an external influence on the sun. The sun is in motion. Either it's orbiting the core of the galaxy, or perhaps it's orbiting another star. NASA admits the sun is moving. Number two, NASA admits that the solar system and the sun and everything around us is passing through a huge nebulous cloud. That's a fact. All right, don't take issue with me, take issue with NASA. I have a video from NASA in one of my previous videos. It is NASA's artwork, it's NASA's information. The sun is moving through a cloud which NASA calls the local cloud. One critic said that this couldn't possibly make a difference. If a little bit of hydrogen gets into the sun, that's not enough to matter because the hydrogen is so thin. Well, think of a teeter-totter, a balance beam, or like scales hanging in the balance. There's a certain amount of heat stored in the oceans of Earth. The oceans are deep, and most of the Earth's surface is covered by water. There's a lot of water. Water is the substance with the highest specific heat. If you Google, don't take issue with me, Google the word specific heat to find out that water is the substance that stores the most heat for the longest period of time. The oceans are full of water. The oceans store a lot of heat. Very little heat comes to the earth by way of the sun, believe it or not. Very little heat. Very little. Because space is like a Stanley thermos bottle, a vacuum bottle. A vacuum does not transmit heat. For the same reason, space does not conduct sound. We are Earth-centric. We're used to things behaving as we see them here on the surface of the Earth, under all the weight of the Earth's atmosphere. Space is a vacuum. Heat is not conducted across a vacuum. Very little heat arrives at the sun, arrives from the sun, and I would suppose, not being an expert, this is probably largely infrared light. But even if I'm wrong about that, the only way heat can leave the Earth's atmosphere, is in the form of infrared light. So think of the balance. There's a whole lot of heat in the oceans, very little heat coming in and very little heat going out. A balance. Think of two fat men on a seesaw in balance. It wouldn't take much to cause either of these big fat men to go down and the other one to go up. A child could walk up and touch the seesaw with her finger and press one of these fat men down very easily, because it wouldn't take much to cause a balance with two weights on it to tilt. It wouldn't take much, and that's my point. A little bit of hydrogen coming in over a period of decades would slowly brighten the sun, slowly heat the oceans, slowly alter the Earth's climate. What is so extraordinary about that? What is so conspiratorial about that? What is so harebrained or bizarre about that? Nothing. Nothing. So I wanted to get that off my chest. Thanks for listening. Adios.